Chapter 58, Vampire Myths. After finishing the test with the items, Layla was eager to try out a few of the other things she had brought along with her. "Do I really have to worry about something like this?" Quinn said as he picked up a clove of garlic. "Not really. To be honest, I just wanted to try out everything. Garlic always acted more as a repellent in the first place, and the fact that you're holding it like that would suggest it wouldn't hurt." While Quinn looked at the piece of garlic, he decided to use the inspect skill on just to be sure. If something would harm him, he was sure the system would be able to tell him basic information such as this. Inspect. A glove of garlic. Due to your heightened senses, the piece may test extremely bad. Safe to consume. The good news was the system had informed him that the garlic wasn't poisonous, which meant it would be able to do with the other items as well. The bad news was that he had to still eat the garlic so Layla didn't get suspicious. He broke the glove into a small piece before placing it into his mouth. The taste was incredibly strong. It felt like he was eating dog crap. Not that he knew how that tasted anyway, but if he had to imagine this was it. Quinn immediately started to spit on the ground, trying to get the taste out of his mouth. "Well, at least you look fine," Layla said. Quinn had actually expected this result before even using his inspect skill. The taste of food had slightly changed ever since his evolution. Sweet food such as ice cream and cakes now tasted bland. It was the same with fruit. The only thing that still tasted fine for him was meat. Although everything seemed to taste slightly saltier than before, it was the same with other herbs as well. Although there was one thing that drastically changed for him, and that was blood. It was a greater taste than anything he had before and was sweet as caramel itself. Just thinking about it, Quinn wanted another taste, but he was still able to control himself just fine. It was the same way when someone thought about chocolate. They suddenly wanted chocolate, but they didn't need it. Before touching any of the other items, Quinn made sure to use his inspect skill on each one. First was the metal cross. A religious symbol that has no effect, the system said. Then the chain. A sliver chain that is made up of 92% Silveler. Wearing the item can be used as a fashion accuracy. With both the items there was no such warning. Quinn then proceeded to pick up both of them with no worry. He was starting to trust the system more and more lately, as it had been more helpful and accurate. "So what's the story behind these two things?" Quinn asked. "I kind of get the cross, but what about the Silveler, and they just for were levels?" Suddenly Layla's eyes started to sparkle up. "I'm glad you asked. Vampire lore has gone further back than you think. Even in Greek mythology they have tales of vampires. The first vampire was said to be cursed by the god Apollo, to be burned by sunlight. Then when the man tried to touch Artemis' bow, she cursed the human further to be affected by Silveler." Layla explained. "Of course there are other reasons, but this is one of the older ones." Then with the cross, vampires have always been seen as workers of the devil, a creature that needed to suck blood to live, and of course God, in the eyes of many, is a fighter of evil, and the cross is a symbol of the god. Layla then grabbed both items from Quinn and placed it back in her bag. "But now looking at you, I can clearly see all of that was a load of rubbish," Layla said, sounding a bit disappointed by the whole experience. "The only vampire weakness it seems you have so far is sunlight, although I have to admit that's a pretty big one. Do you feel like you're not getting older yet?" "What?" Quinn said, confused. "How would I even know? It's only been a few days." "I mean, I don't feel any older, but I could say that about the rest of my life. You kind of just got older without realizing it." Then a dreaded thought had entered Quinn's mind. If it was true that he would no longer age, did that mean his appearance would stay the same as it did now? Would he look like a young teenage boy for the rest of his life? With test over, it was time for the two of them to head back to their dorm rooms. Quinn decided to head back to the dorm rooms and see if Vorden and Peter wanted to hang out and do something for the rest of the evening. But when he entered the room, once again neither Vorden or Peter was there. "Vorden," Quinn didn't worry too much about. It seemed like he had been getting into trouble lately with the second years, but currently they were staying well clear of him after the incident. It was Peter Quinn was more worried about. He couldn't help but shake the feeling that these new friends of Peter weren't actually friends of his and was wondering what to do. With that, Quinn decided to sleep for the night and wait till the next day. When he woke up, he was happy to see that the other two had managed to return to their rooms in the middle of the night. For once the three of them had decided to head down to the canteen together, and in a long time, the three of them casually eat food and chatted about what they had done yesterday. Once the three of them had finished eating, it was time for them to head to their homeroom classes together. On Monday morning they were to attend a morning class with their teacher Dell. This lesson would be a theory-based lesson, either the history of the human race or even notice about what would happen. The three of them sat in the back of the class as usual, while Layla sat at the front with Aaron by her side. The students waited patiently until Dell had finally arrived. "All right, Class 1, have an important announcement to make. The preparations for your first portal outing has been complete. It's time for you kids to go explore the universe a bit more."